This morning on Dailies today. You can watch live on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3. It's Nigeria Info 99.3 on the two platforms, and you can join the conversation by dropping your comments. We're going to start with the business and economy page on the Punch newspaper this morning. Page 19 is where we are. Adulterated fuel marketers fear court cases. FG hints at compensation for damaged vehicles. Is right here on page 19 of the Punch newspaper this morning.
Thank you. This is an update on the bad fuel situation we've been contending with in the past few days, Sheriff.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and I'm sure you saw the reluctance on our part, we had to mention the fact that petrol was being sold at a mobile petrol station that was adulterated. Apparently, we've been made to understand that Mobil has some stations that they run themselves, and they have some they run on what you call franchise. Okay, and at that particular station that went viral, the owner of the station had gotten petrol from other sources and not from Mobil. And in the spirit of fair play, we asked them to give us a written statement on that.
Yeah.
Because we're not here to spoil anybody's business. And I'll quickly run through what Mr. Tuji Ebandi, the MD, sent to us. He says that our attention has been drawn to a viral video circulating on social media of contaminated PMS that was dispensed at a mobile service station in the outskirts of Lagos. And then he says that we'd like to state categorically that the product in question was not sourced from our depot at number 1 Mobile Road, Apapa. The franchise acted outside the jointly signed operating agreement, which stipulates that PMS should only be sourced from our depot. Mobil did not receive any product from the contaminated PMS, which brought about the recent public outcry. However, as a member of the Major Oil Marketing Association of Nigeria, we are teaming up with members that are affected and the regulatory authorities to ensure issues arising are effectively addressed. And so that's the thrust of the reaction we got from them. All's well that ends well. And coincidentally, I don't know whether I should say this.
What's that?
There were no queues on Awolowo Road yesterday. And guess where I bought my fuel from?
What's that?
Huh?
Where?
Mobile. When I sent a note to the MD, he said that's one of their own direct petrol stations. But having said that, the story we have here is that marketers fear court cases. I honestly have looked at it very, very critically, and I'm not sure how individual retailers will be able to get some sort of. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just thinking how that is going to work out. And it says here also that oil marketers fault federal government, and they say that the methanol is illegal in petrol. It says the major oil marketer that stored some of the adulterated petrol imported into Nigeria by NNPC said methanol in the commodity was illegal, in contrast to the position of the. So who put the methanol in the liter? Is it that do you add methanol or you're supposed to extract it? We would need somebody to give us a full analysis of that. Well, the federal government has also begun the probe of the dirty fuel importation, and there have been reports of some car damages. That's also there. And this is that the NNPC plans to, we were wondering what was going to happen to the fuel withdrawn, and what she said is that the NNPC is going to reblend the bad one and see if they can. But left to me, I wouldn't want anything, whether you do with it or not, just go back along. And so essentially that is what we have. The Vanguard reports, it says scarcity worsens. I don't know, because I bought fuel. I was on Awolowo Road yesterday, and I drove in. I thought, when I saw the one at Oando, I thought maybe they were selling fuel into the MD's car or something like that, and their gates were open. So when I got to Mobil,
you couldn't just believe it.
I couldn't just believe it. But I have to apologize that I didn't call you to quickly bring that long.
I'm vexed. I'm angry.
I'm
angry.
What I will do is that I'll take half of mine and
I'll
find the way.
That's so nice.
He said that's nice. So
No
what
way.
we have from the Vanguard is, it says marketers describe lack of space to stock new product. FG marketers set up committees to assess the situation. NNPC warned against panic buying. And we have 20 days stock of 300 million liters of PMS to close the supply gap. And they said the federal government has begun the probe and may compensate those whose cars were damaged. Now, that's a statement the government needs to issue carefully.
Yeah, indeed. And I also hear that about 300 million liters have arrived in Lagos.
Yes, but they
Right,
were
yeah,
accused, as at this morning, they're accused at the MRS and the mobile station in Troy Island. They're accused there. So I think it's a bit. I think some areas are hit worse than others.
Yeah, I think
Sulere is a bit moderate. I also hear.
I think so too. Let's just stay with a punch. Let's stay with a punch. Page 8 this time. Foreign treatment. Reps propose 7-year imprisonment, 500 million naira fine for officials.
I mean, I don't know. Our National Assembly, we have problems with the debt. We have problems with crime, the killings, and so on and so forth. We have myriads of problems that are facing us. We have problems with fuel subsidy. The National Assembly should get involved in this fuel subsidy matter and reach some kind of conclusion. Rather, what we hear is that they're proposing a 7-year imprisonment. And listen to what it says. It says a bill seeking to prescribe a term of 7 years and or a fine of 500 million naira for officials who spend public funds on foreign medical trips. The House of Reps should go and find out. These public officials who go, maybe apart from maybe the president, vice president, for others who go, such monies are usually given to them in cash. At state level, is under the governor's security vote. There are ways and manners in which these things are done. You don't need for operation. Okay, take. That's the way it is done. Okay? And so to now have a special law for that, I don't understand where that is coming from. But it says that those who go, public officers who go on, who spend public funds. That's the emphasis. So if they have their own private funds, which they could have taken from the cookie jar anyway, they are free to do so. I'm not too impressed with all this. The problems that are facing, I was reading a story this morning about some group of 200 people or whatever it was, as Dangote, my friend, for land, so on and so forth, moving to see what kind of, to see if we can get the best quality president. And I said, and I was also now watching some clip from Sanusi, and I said to myself, on the tip of my fingers, a new president in 2023 is going to have to decide where we're going to go on. No, the first thing that's going to hit him is this issue of subsidy.
Yeah.
After that is the debt stock. After that is the debt stock. After that is the increasing crime of abnormal proportions that we have that involves death of citizens. This Yahoo, whatever it is, every day is a new report. I heard you this morning. Every day is a new report, a new killing. I saw something that went viral yesterday. They said some people were apprehended at the University of Lagos trying to kidnap a girl. This thing has gotten to proportions that, are we going to have to use some extrajudicial ways to handle this thing? I don't know. But it has gotten to a ridiculous and frightening level. So there are so many things, so many issues that need immediate attention, immediate in capital and underlined, facing us. Sanusi said that we were in the hole in 2015. This one when we enter, this one when we enter now, we don't enter well. We don't enter well. It reminds me of a fellow who was talking about his case. Nigeria's case now has gone beyond portmanteau. OTD Bembe. It's big. It's big. And it has to be handled immediately. Right. I mean, how do you, as a fresh president, look at the debt stock you're going to carry? Look at the insecurity there, which has now gotten closer and closer. Don't forget, before we used to think Boko Haram. Now it's almost like you're afraid of the young man standing next to you. Yeah. Then this issue of subsidy, I don't know why people don't place a premium on it. It's not going to go away. We have to face it head
No,
on.
it's not going to go away.
We have to
But,
face
but
it
there
head on.
hasn't been any strong enough political will because, of course, public outcry.
Yes, and it's been politicized.
Yeah.
This government will be damned if they do and damned if they don't. So they've shifted the responsibility to whoever takes over in 2023. That the same applies to debt. If you take debt today, fair enough, you're not the one who's going to pay for it.
That's right. So it's not, especially, I'm just, Sanusi said that the incoming, anybody that's going to take over should be ready for the job.
It has to be.
Because of the challenges
There
ahead.
are some very, very, in fact, there are some things that might have to happen on what I call in an extra legal manner. I don't think, the process, going through the process of law in everything that we want to do, I don't think you're going to need a leader who will be ready to grab this country by the jugular. This has gone beyond the rhetorics of law and whatever.
He also added that even the citizens must be ready because there will be tough decisions.
Yes. We can't get anything done under the current dispensation that we run and the legal system that we have. It's been completely abused. It's been completely abused. We might have to, the leader of this country might have to put a phone call through to, what's his name again? After all, he's practicing the democracy of some sort. Kagame.
Paul Kagame. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to stay with the punch. This time, page 17. Wike lends support as EFCC rearranged Jang for 6.3 billion naira fraud.
The tragedy of our country. Wike is free to go anywhere that he wants, But look at the tragedy of our country. A governor is charged is charged for fraud that involves public money of 6.3 billion. Now, can you tell me of what message is Wike trying to send by leaving his state in Port Harcourt, where he's governor, to go and sit in court with Jang? What is the message that he's trying to send?
Few things to do in reverse.
No, he's protecting. They want to protect one of their own. So what do we do? Where are our civil bodies? Where are our civil societies? Our civil groups? What are we doing? What are we, the people, doing? If a governor wants to intimidate us because we put somebody on trial, we should also do so likewise. Look, nobody has a monopoly of these things, Sheriff. Enough is enough. He's going to go there with paraphernalia of whatever security, and then leave his own state in Port Harcourt to go to Jos. And we, the citizens of Jos, will sit back looking and do nothing. No, we should flood the courts quietly. If we don't do these things, we are not going anywhere. If we don't do these things, we are not going anywhere. All we'll be doing is talking and talking and talking and talking. We must start to meet these people in a peaceful manner. But we must start to meet them. I almost wanted to say fire for fire.
Something that struck me in what you said is the fact that, you go there to go and intimidate the system.
To intimidate, and then don't forget, I have to choose my words carefully.
Yeah.
But Wike there is a suspicion that Wike has more than an ordinary influence in the judicial system. My friends who are top lawyers have hinted me that it appears, not that I know, that he has more than considerable influence in the judicial system in this country. Our judicial system is almost torn apart. So, like you rightly said, you use the right word to go and why should let me read what it says. It says Wike on Wednesday stormed the Plateau High Court where a former governor was arraigned. And it says Jang is standing trial alongside a governor. Look at it. A governor is standing on trial alongside a cashier in the office on an 6.3 billion naira charges brought by the EFCC. Governor is standing in the dock with cashier. on the system. They haven't been found guilty though.
Yeah. They haven't. They haven't at all.
Well, our people need to wake up. Yesterday we were talking about some southern governors saying that they don't want the northern president and so on and so forth.
Right.
So help with them. They can want what they want. We should know what we want. And we've had enough of this. The people of Rivers too should issue him a query. Who is going to pay for this trip, solidarity trip? Every money counts, every penny. You do all these things, at the end of the day, you don't pay pensioners, you don't pay teachers on time, you don't provide any succor for your citizens. Man shall not live by projects alone. Politicians have a way to say it's Mr. Project. Now projects we go chop.
Oknadu.
That's what I keep telling these people also when they do these things that as I'm sitting down here, I don't care how many bridges you build in Ogodo. What about me as an individual? What am I going to get? So all this time about Mr. Project. How do you assess the life of an average citizen of Rivers State? Not just Port Harcourt. My people in Opobo, the people in Bonny, what are their lives like? The ordinary citizens. Okay.
I know.
And don't forget that this is a state, again, that has only one airport, but as the way things are going, it looks as if 3 planes are floating in the air, owned by that state. Nigeria is a mess, I beg. Second base, let's go to another thing.
Page 24, The Punch. New Peng threatens strike, alleges FG fails to fix 21 highways.
Well, let us, Nupeng, for God's sake, this is not the right time to do this. You might have all the points in the world, but please don't add kerosene to a burning or petrol to a burning fire. Let us sort what we have on ground first, because what you want really is you're protesting about the highways and so on and so forth, and they're now threatening strikes. We can't afford a different strike here. That is one. Two, what you're asking for is not going to happen now. Why don't you keep it for the next government? Unless, yes, but there's no point. You just want to blow hot air, period. Keep it for the next government. Let's all work towards, let's leave this government and try and tolerate them till the end of their tenure. And then work towards 2023 when we can then, in our own wisdom, either keep them, if we're happy with them, or choose a new government. But huffing and puffing, asking for constitutional reviews, asking for this and that at this point in time, all it does is that it makes us lose focus. It makes us lose focus.
What if they're just talking about how this has affected their members? Accidents on the road, tankers somersaulting and discharging fuel.
In everything you do, Oga Sheriff, in everything you do, you must be tactical.
Commander T.
You know the man who drank tea the other time, you know what happened to him?
I don't know. I'm the one that's drinking tea now.
With this cap that you have on your head, I don't know what is under it. I mean, you need to go to YouTube to see Sheriff. He's wearing a pair of jeans and then he put this cap. I don't want tea. Thank you very much. Very nice of you. I have my water.
Tea is good in the morning.
It is good in the morning.
Early morning tea.
Tea that you make yourself.
Yes.
So
you don't trust me? I cannot make tea for you.
You can't make tea.
If you come to my house and I say, Uncle Jimmy, take this thing and
if I come to your house, your wife will serve me. I feel safe in her hands.
If you come to my apartment here now and say, okay, you want to chill for a moment because you have a program on TV and say, okay. Let's take this story here from Vanguard. All right. Vanguard, page 7. Declare emergency on ritual killings now. Reps urge FG.
Yeah, I mean, we might. I don't know how we are going to do it. My mind keeps going back to how we solved the drug problem in '83 before. When Buhari came, and I'm thinking we might have to do something as desperate as that very quickly. Very, very quickly. We can't continue like this. The way things are going now, if the story I heard yesterday is anything to go by, where some students were arrested at the university gates, I don't know if that is true.
So someone said that it's not true, that it's a boyfriend abusing the girlfriend and the rest of it. The person just dropped a comment on our live stream.
Have we not been boyfriends before? Have we not been in university before? But I mean, something is obviously wrong with this new phenomenon of Yahoo and ritual killings. It's becoming something else.
But do you think this is going to change anything?
It's declare emergency. You see, if you declare emergency, then that means that you want to go through an extrajudicial method to get rid of it.
Okay.
Yes, now.
Okay.
That's what the emergency means.
Okay.
When you have a state of emergency, you abandon the law.
Yes.
Yes.
I know that.
Yes, maybe they'll declare shooters.
I mean, that's what I've been wondering. Like, okay, so what do they expect federal government to do? Because you have state governments.
Look, Nigeria needs a dynamic leader who can, a dynamic, flexible leader who can, just like that, summon all the governors, have a meeting on over a weekend and come out with the policy and deal with it straight off. We can't continue pussyfooting the way we are going now.
No, we can't. We can't afford to.
We can't afford to. If you hear of the discipline level in Rwanda, a country that only how many years ago were embroiled in a civil war, the level of discipline in that country, we can't continue the way we are going on. We just can't, unless we want to kid ourselves. Now, everywhere will be awash with freedom of this and freedom of that, Look at what you have in the TikToks and in the social media. How can a country progress with all the things that you see there? It's all about backsides. It's all about, if you see the TikToks from other countries, they study the animals, they study this, they study that. The Nigerian one is about show off of money, Rolls Royce. And it's amazing. These things that we do are going to ruin us. I have no doubt in my mind. Absolutely no doubt. In the name of freedom. Absolutely no doubt. And look at the horrible things that you see. Hey.
Indeed. So let's take this column written by Victoria Jimi, Woman's Own, in the Vanguard, page 22, that says, women now have safer options for fibroid removal. It's on my main Egbon, Dr. Abayomi Ajayi.
Oh, do you know him?
Oh, yes, of course.
I'd like to bring him here.
Oh, that's consider it done.
I'd like to bring. Okay, so good news here is I'm going to bring him latest by next week.
Consider it done.
Because this, and I don't know, this story is tucked into page 22. Now, all of us know that I would assume that every 7 women out of 10 in Nigeria have one problem or the other with fibroid. And the well-known method of taking care of fibroid in Nigeria is to yank it off, go through surgery. And that has put many women in despair because everybody fears surgery. I've had one before, and it's not a palatable thing. It's not. So, even on the local front, you have all kinds of herbs that people say they use to melt fibroid and so on and so forth, and that has caused a lot of damage to women. So I was very happy when I saw this. Women now have a safer option for fibroid, and it says Dr. Abayomi Ajayi. And what they say is that there's something called high intensity focused ultrasound ablation of uterine fibroids, HIFU, HIFU. And they say it's a relatively new, non-surgical and non-invasive means for the removal of fibroids in women. So in this interview conducted by Morenike Tyree in the Vanguard, she talks to Dr. Abayomi Ajayi. Dr. Abayomi Ajayi is the medical director and CEO of the Nordica brand, whatever that is. And he says that he tells WO, that's Woman's Own, how this game-changing technology is minimizing the risk associated with fibroid removal surgery in societies such as ours. First question, walk us through the HIFU technology. And he says the technology is called high-intensity focused ultrasound. The ultrascan is converted into heat. The patient sees what is going on the screen while undergoing the procedure. It takes under 1 or 2 hours, depending on the size of the fibroid. Now he says, and I'm reading this, it burns the fibroid and burns the blood supply. So he's now asked, is it a one-off procedure? He says most of the time, but because most people sometimes have many fibroids, for example, 10 to 15 fibroids, You cannot do all of them in one sitting because it might take 4 to 5 hours. Therefore, it's advisable to do it twice. And they ask about the test, and they ask about patients critically examined. I hope that Sheriff would keep to say, consider it done. I'm so excited.
I shall bring my fuel first.
That okay. Okay. I'm glad to do that for the woman. Now it says, how does the fibroid come out? And it says the fibroid does not come out. The fibroid is dead, and so your body absorbs it. What we look out for is the shrinking rate. We expect that about 3 months, about 35% of the fibroid should have shrunken in about 6 months. 50% and 1 year, 75%. The symptoms disappear almost immediately. The problem with fibroid is that it is affecting the quality of life. Of course,
That's right.
We do not want any fibroid to be left inside of the uterus. And with the machine, we do not want to hit it, so I have to round up. So when he comes, I'll be able to, before you get the phone, call him.
Okay, there's no problem. It's my going. You will come.
He will come. Is he in Lagos?
Yes, of course.
Well,
Isn't it Ikoyi?
Let's. Is where?
Ikoyi.
Okay, let's. Maybe you'll even examine me. I don't know whether this one is.
You don't have.
Jennifer, are you laughing
How
at
can
me
you say you have fibroid?
No, but look at. I was still looking at myself in the mirror this morning, and I said, "What's all this?"
We have to go now. Thank you so much for coming.
We'll try and get Dr. Jai for Tuesday.
All right,
So stand by.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm Sheriff Quadry, Jimi, Disu. We have to go. Good morning to you.
It's so easy to learn anything today. That's how my little niece of yesterday tied my gele for me. Like
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.